ready, Paul? You ready?
I know it.
Yeah. And Chief, let's wait for the anthem. You can.
Shutting down streets for you, Paulie.
Great. They want to come up and present it?
I don't know. I don't know if you know. I just saw it right now. Okay. All right, perfect. Yeah, that's a nice gift.
Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming together and joining us as we celebrate an amazing 42-year career of Detective Second Grade Paul DiGiacomo. To begin, I'm going to ask everyone to please rise for the presentation of our nation's colors and the singing of the national anthem by Police Officer Brianna Fernandez.
Lieutenant! Present! Paul!
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Officer Fernandez. Please remain standing for the invocation by Police Department Assistant Chief Chaplain, Monsignor David L. Casado.
All right, rest.
Let us remind ourselves that we are in God's presence. Let us pray. Loving and gracious God, today we come together to honor the 42 years of service. The scripture tells us, I am in your midst as one who serves. We are indeed grateful for the life, the work, the accomplishments of Paul DiGiacomo. At this moment, as he retires from this moment in life, continue to watch over, bless, protect, and guide him. Keep him healthy, keep him strong, and may he always do your will in this city and in this world. Bless us today. Watch over his family and all members of the NYPD, especially the DEA, and continue to strengthen us for you, our Lord, today and forever. Amen.
Lieutenant!
Thank you, Monsignor Casado. If you have seats, please be seated. It's my pleasure now to introduce our first speaker this afternoon. She is the Chief Advisor to Mayor Eric Adams, Chaplain Dr. Ingrid Lewis-Martin.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's indeed an honor for me to be here as I represent our Mayor Eric Adams who has known our good friend, we call him Paulie, you don't mind if I say that? And I call him DiGiacomo for I don't know how many years. You have been there for us through all of the mayor's elections. You have been there for us. You and the DEA, my husband's a member, a retired member of DEA, so big shout out to DEA. You have been there for us. The mayor extends his regrets for being unable to personally extend to you blessings and to wishing you the best on your new endeavors and to thank your family, your wife, daughter, sons, both sons, nephew, the son, for allowing your husband, father, uncle, to put in the amount of hours that he has in order to protect us, for doing what only NYPD does. They take care of New Yorkers. I have the honor of presenting a proclamation to you on behalf of the mayor and the city of New York. I'm going to take the liberty of reading it. Oh, I don't have on my glasses and the light's not so good. So it says, I really can't read. I need like reading glasses. Anybody got a pair of reading glasses?
Oh, glasses.
Yeah, okay, thanks. It was bright out there, I didn't need them. Oh, these are worse. Thank you. Yes. Whereas New York City rises on the foundation of the vital civil servants who power. Thanks, Diane. And then she has glasses that I could. Yes, I'm back. Thank you. Whereas New York City rises on the foundation of the vital civil servants who power the 5 boroughs, support our diverse population, and forge our bright future. We owe an enormous debt of gratitude to the women and men of the New York City Police Department, NYPD, all of whom work tirelessly to protect the 8.3 million people who live and work here. In that spirit, it gives me great pleasure to join in celebrating Detective Paul DiGiacomo. Come on, make noise. President of the Detectives Endowment Association, DEA, upon his retirement after more than 4 decades of dedicated service. And he doesn't look a day over 40, so I don't know. He must have been minus 10. Whereas a Brooklyn native and the son of a transit officer, Detective DiGiacomo was first appointed to the Housing Police in 1983 and transferred to the NYPD in 1985. He earned the rank of detective in 1993. The following year, he moved to the Organized Crime Investigation Division, OCDI, and was elected the DEA delegate in that unit. Throughout his tenure, he has held many roles within the union, including Sergeant at Arms, Treasurer, and Vice President, before becoming its president in 2020. In this role, Detective DiGiacomo oversees collective bargaining, political action, health and welfare funds, and the DEA's Widow and Children's Fund. And I know that a number of our widows and children are here, and we thank you for joining with us upon this occasion. Whereas it is impossible to overstate the positive impact that Detective DiGiacomo has had on our city. His steadfast dedication to the DEA has uplifted our women and men who serve and protect, and who have a shared desire to give back to their communities. As you gather to celebrate all that he has accomplished, I am pleased to add my voice to his chorus of well wishes upon his retirement. On behalf of the City of New York, I extend gratitude for his exemplary service and best wishes for the next stage of his life to be one of equally great success. Now therefore I, Eric Adams, Mayor of the City of New York, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, June 26, 2024, in the City of New York as Detective Paul DiGiacomo Day. So this is your day. I'm blessed because I wear 2 hats. Of course, I always represent the mayor, and it's indeed my pleasure and privilege and honor. But I am also, give me 1 second, I am also a friend of DiGiacomo, and I love your husband. He is just the absolute best. Your father, your uncle, he's the best. And we wish you nothing but blessings. Love you.
And thank you, Dr. Lewis Martin.
Thank you.
It's now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker. It's the Police Department's first Deputy Commissioner, Tanya Kinsella.
Paul, I'll be brief. Thank you for being a cop's cop.
Yes.
Thank you for being exactly who you say you are. Thank you for being human. Thank you for backing our detectives up. Thank you for being reasonable. Thank you for being a friend, and we will miss you dearly. We love you. Your leadership, your friendship, your guidance is more like a brother, and our conversations have always been so positive, even under stressful and not positive situations. You and I always found a way to go through a happy medium. There was no better person to have been the DEA president. So we thank you, we love you, and enjoy retirement, brother.
Thank you, Commissioner Kinsella. It's now my pleasure to introduce the Chief of Staff, Raul Pintos.
Thank you. Nice to see a turnout this big and this nice, balmy, hot day. But today is the end of an era, Paul. A culmination of an amazing 42-year career. You've been a detective for over 3 decades, and you served the DA all along. You went on from OCCB, which really dates you. How many people here know what OCCB even is? But it used to be an Organized Crime Control Bureau. You started there, and then you became where you are now, the president of one of the largest law enforcement unions in the world. And over the last 4 years, your unwavering leadership brought this membership here in DA through some challenging times in recent history. For example, you guided the DA through a global pandemic, a nationwide protest, violent unrest, constantly changing legislation, which you and I had many conversations about those legislations. And by the way, in my seat where I sit, Paul has called me many times advocating for you, for the members. I can't tell you how many times he's come to see me or called me and the police commissioner to advocate for many of you here, so I just want you to know that. So I think he's going to leave the DA in good hands, good, capable hands, now with the new leadership with Scott Monroe. So I think you have big shoes to fill, Scott, but I'm sure that you will do great. So on behalf of the police commissioner and the NYPD, I want to extend the biggest congratulations to you. What a tremendous career, of course, and I want to wish you and your family the best chapter of your life. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Pintos. It's now my pleasure to introduce the Deputy Commissioner of Employee Relations, Lisa White.
Detective Giacomo, Paul DiGiacomo, right? All right, thank you. It is a great honor and pleasure to say congratulations to you on 42 years of service. You've been a stellar professional and consummate in what you do. Not only to me, but to all these sea of people that you see out here. We really appreciate your dedication, commitment, and service. You're a man of valor. What does valor mean? It means spirit and strength. And you represent what every person wants you to represent when we have a leader. You have strengthened our police department in your endeavors to make sure that anyone who has an incident and take a life that is needed for our department to strive too short, you make sure that you and the DEA make sure that your organization, along with the Justice Department, make sure that justice is served. And we cannot thank you enough for all that you do. It is greatly appreciated. In addition to what you do for our line of duty family every single day, you're the consummate person that makes sure that no life that is taken from us is ever forgotten. When we say never forget, that's what we mean. And you make sure that our line of duty family is represented. I cannot thank you enough for all that you have done to assist our Family Assistance Section, our Employee Relations Bureau at large. Thank you so much for giving your dedication, your commitment, and your service to us all. To the Paul Giacomo family, and please forgive me for butchering your name. It's an absence of the mind and not of the heart, definitely. To the family, I just want you to know, thank you so much for sharing your husband, your father, your family member with us. He means so much to us. He will be greatly missed within this bureau and this police department at large. As I say, when you look out and you see the sea of people, it is a testament for who he is and who he continues to be in this life. I wish you nothing but the best, because you're deserving of this and many more honors to come. On behalf of our Employee Relations Bureau, we have a dedicated plaque that we'd like to present to you. Can you please step forward? In recognition for your loyalty, dedication, and faithful service to the members of the Detective Endowment Association, the Line of Duty and Surviving Families, and the New York City Police Department at large. Best of luck in your retirement from your friends and colleagues in the Employee Relations Bureau. Thank you ever so much. God bless you all.
Got one of you too. All right.
Thank you. God bless you, Paul.
Thank you, Commissioner White. Next, we have a special presentation. As everyone knows, Paul, he's big with the DEA, but he has another family here, and that's the Columbia Association. So, to make a special presentation, it's my honor to introduce the president of the Columbia Association, Lieutenant Anthony Bergio. And the Vice President, Sebastian Bonanno, and Diana Pecoraro.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. Paul, 42 years service in the NYPD. All 42 years member of the NYPD Columbia Association, a past president of the NYPD Columbia Association, a true friend, an advisor. Thank you for everything you've given to our organization over the years, as your time as president of the Columbia Association and as your time as a board member and president of DEA. It's our honor and our pleasure to give you a special presentation, but wish you all the best of health and luck in your well-deserved retirement. Thank you, Paul.
Oh, turn around here. Anybody else? Thank you, Lieutenant Bergio. Next, we have the District Attorney of Richmond County, Michael McMahon, who unfortunately is unable to make it today. So, to make the presentation on his behalf is his Chief Assistant, Ashley Owens.
DA is so sad not to be here today, but you're such a great friend, and we're so grateful for your years of service. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashley. Next, we want to hear from one of Paul's former partners, so it's my pleasure to introduce retired second grade Bobby Bush.
Hello, everyone. This is a great turnout. Thank you for coming. And my buddy here, in 1986, asked me if I wanted to be his partner. And for the next almost 7 years, we were radio car partners. And you know, you learn a lot about a person all those hours together. And you see good times, and you see bad times. And one of the good times is when he started dating Amy. And you know what? She could probably use a little applause here also today. But most of all, I quickly learned what a good man he is, and what a caring man. And I used to see it time and time again of Paul helping someone, doing someone a favor. And I would imagine probably just about everyone here, Paulie has helped along the line with some sort of favor or some kind of goodwill or whatever. But I really saw it, especially with the widows, the orphans, or members that were severely hurt. And I'm going way back, but when Robert Machado was killed, and I don't even know if you were a delegate then, but Paul really took the bull by the horns and made that family's life a lot more comfortable during those times. But I could go on for hours with stories, but I'm going to keep it brief. A lot of funny stuff. But Paul, I can't tell you how grateful I am to have you in my life as a friend. And congratulations, Paul, on a great career.
Thank you, Detective Bush. At this time, I'd like to invite up the entire DEA board for a special presentation.
She does the flowers that one time.
Okay, on behalf of the DEA, you know, I would just like to say, Paul's got some crowd here today. Let me tell you, he touched somebody here, everybody here, and that's why we're here today. And the line of duty families, and I'd just like to congratulate Paul on behalf of the DEA. And moving forward, I'm sure Amy's very happy that he's retiring, and his family, that they can go on vacations now and we'll have dinner together now, and because it takes a lot of time, this position, and we appreciate it. This board appreciates this, yes. And we would just like to say congratulations, Paul.
Don't go anywhere.
Now, one little last minute addition, Paul, don't go anywhere, is what we give to every detective who retires. And you are a detective who retired. Even though you and I both signed this is your official retirement plan. We had to do it, people. We had to do it. So congratulations, my brother.
Thank you to the board of the DEA. Before we bring up our final speaker, I just want to make a couple announcements. Due to time constraints, not everyone who was here to present something was able to come up and actually present it. We have a bunch of our elected officials here in the audience that have proclamations that Paul will receive after the ceremony. It's kind of hot out here. We didn't want the program to last very long, so we had to kind of cut it down. Also, he was presented earlier today, plaque from the Committee of Police Societies for his time as the Columbia president and all that. Just take a look here. And the Port Authority Detectives Endowment Association also has presented you with something that you'll see later on. And now, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce the man of the hour, our friend, the Detective Second Grade and President of the Detectives Endowment Association, Paul DiGiacomo.
First, let me just say thank you to all in attendance here today. This is truly overwhelming. I never in a million years thought that there would be this many people here today, and it really touches my heart. And I want to thank the Mayor, Ingrid, the current Police Commissioner, the former Police Commissioner, Keyshawn Sewell, and all the elected officials that are here today. 42 years. I can't believe it's gone by so quick. It seems like yesterday I was raising my right hand in the basement of a housing project and taking the oath to be a New York City housing cop. And then in 1985 I switched over to the NYPD and I took that oath again. And I never thought I would be here 42 years later. But throughout that journey, I met some amazing, amazing cops and some amazing detectives. And to be here today as the president of this union, to represent those detectives, past and present, that do an amazing job under such difficult circumstances, just amazes me every day. Every time we have a high-profile crime, a homicide, a rape of a child, or whatever it may be, terrorist attack, within 48 hours, New York City detectives have that person in custody. And to be able to represent those detectives and be part of their life, it was no greater honor. So let's give the detectives out there right now that are doing this job and keeping this city, this state, and this country safe. I want to personally thank our elected officials that are here today, Joe Borelli, Vito Pasella, and so many others. I really thank you for coming and taking the time out of your day to be here today. And I not only thank you for being here today, but I thank you for picking up the phone when a detective needed help, or when we were trying to get legislation passed, or recently when we were trying to get the Detective Brian Simonson cell phone bill up in Albany passed. Everybody band together and work together to do what's in the best interest of the people of this city. So to all of our elected officials, Peter King, Vito, Joe Borelli, and so many others, I truly thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you did and what you continue to do for our detectives out on the street. Thank you. The next group of people I want to speak about are very special and near and dear to my heart, and that's our line of duty families. You know, like my partner Bobby said, we've experienced the death of our loved ones, people that we saw every day out there on the street doing their job. and they lost their lives. And to be there with those families and to be able to help them and honor them, there's no greater honor and no greater feeling in the world. And then when this team that's here, this board and this team, in the first couple of days that we took over this union, we were hit with mass riots throughout the city of New York, and we lost 8 detectives to the coronavirus in a matter of 2 weeks. No other rank in the NYPD or in the country was touched or lost lives from that virus like the rank of detective in the NYPD. And you know, it was pretty frightening when I called some people up in Albany, and I asked them, I said that we have to have this designated as a line of duty death. And I got some pushback from some high-level people up in Albany, because they were giving it to one organization and they weren't giving it to the other. And our detectives were out there, not only at the demonstrations, but they were in the hospitals with every person that died from COVID. They were in the hospital interviewing every perpetrator or every complainant that was a victim of a crime. And they exposed themselves more than any other rank in the NYPD. And they paid the ultimate price. And it's something that myself and the board at the time never thought we would have to experience. But we got through it. And with the help of our families and the help of our friends in Albany, we were able to get the legislation passed where our families were recognized and got the line of duty death benefit, just as they were shot in the line of duty. So I can't take credit for that. Andrea, you helped out, Kathy, all of our COVID families, Mary, went above and beyond in helping us, the DEA, get that legislation passed and get you the due process and the line of duty status that you well deserve. So God bless your families, and thank God it worked out. And many of our other families that were lost to 9/11 cancer or combat deaths. There are so many here today that I can't even mention all the names. But being at every one of those shootings and being at every one of those deaths, and they continue to climb, the post 9/11 cancers, is pretty devastating. But at least there's some sense of comfort that this union was able to secure the benefits for those families and get them financially secure and the line of duty death designation that they so truly deserve. So I was very honored to be part of that with this board, and God bless you for that. There's a very special family here. You know, a lot of things go on behind the scenes that not many people know about. Now, many years ago, there was a daughter of a New York City detective who was the victim of a homicide. And 20 years later, I was approached by the New York State Police, Lieutenant Brad Nanzalillo and Mike Cozzetta, who had this case, and they approached us, and I believe they're here today. If you guys are here, could you please come up to the podium? So these two gentlemen came to the DEA and asked for our assistance in helping solve the death of this young girl, the daughter of a New York City detective. And there's no greater pain than the loss of a child. And 20 years later, with the assistance of the DEA and the New York State Police, these two fine investigators of the New York State Police were able to make an arrest in this 20-year-old homicide of this young girl, Megan McDonald. And I'm truly honored to say that her family is here with us today, Oh, here she is. Please come on up. One of the highlights of my career, to be able to assist and bring some comfort and closure to this family, and we wouldn't have been able to do it without the assistance of the New York State Police, and let's give them a round of applause. Would you like to say something? You want to say something?
Sure. I wasn't prepared to say anything. This is truly a surprise and an honor for you to even mention us. But when we approached the DEA in early 2020, we walked right in the office and asked Paul for some assistance. We were kind of at a standstill on the case, and he took the case personal, and he was vested ever since. With the assistance of Paul and the DEA, it helped push the case across the finish line, and we are forever grateful, Paul. Forever grateful. You're truly a great human being, and I know you've comforted the family as well. You sent them flowers on the anniversary of Megan's death. You're a great human being. I'm honored to have gotten to know you. Thank you, Paul.
I have to say, we are eternally grateful to Paul and everything that he has done. And our kids are here today. And we actually watched the Spider-Man movie, and I told you this, and I'm going to botch the quote, but it is when somebody stands up and does the right thing for the right sake. And they instantly looked at us and they said, "That's Paul DiGiacomo."
Now, there's another group of people I have to mention, and they do so much for our line of duty families. There's not a week that goes by that, unfortunately, we don't hear of a detective that just was diagnosed with 9/11 cancer, or we lose a detective to 9/11 cancer. And there's one group of individuals that always come through for those families and assisting them financially, doing construction in their house, or getting them new homes, or paying off their mortgages. And to be there with those families when they get that news, whether it be a 9/11 death or a combat death or a COVID death, this organization is always in the forefront. Just recently, when we lost a police officer, then promoted Detective Jonathan Dilla, they were in the forefront and were able to help that family in paying off that mortgage. And that's the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. They are amazing. Frank Silla and retired Detective John Havain and Stephen Silla, they've gone above and beyond for our families. And that's because of the relationship that we have with them. And when something happens, we call, they take care of it, we get the application to them, and they do it with such honor, pride, and joy to bring to these families. And it's something that I'll cherish forever, getting to see our injured detectives like Dalsh Veve and police officer Billy McNamara, and so many other families that lost their loved ones. To have that financial burden taken off them is really incredible. So let's give them another round of applause. I just want to also thank all the unions that are here today, my brother and sister unions from the PBA, the SBA, the LBA, the CEA, the Port Authority Police, PBA, the detectives. I tell you, it's overwhelming. You really, thank you. Benny from Corrections, who's in the middle of contract talks, and they have a tough job too in Corrections. they're undermanned, and they're getting assaulted at an alarming rate. It's happening in law enforcement all across the country. But to have the union heads here with us from all those organizations, I thank you. It really, truly means a lot to me, and I could not have done this without all of you. Thank you. I would be remiss, and this is what he always says, if I didn't mention someone who brought me into this. Well, first who got me involved in the union business was my dear friend who later worked for the DEA, and we lost him recently, Lou Matarazzo. His wife Fran is here, and John, his son. You're the reason your husband is where I am today. And Tom Scotto, who gave me the opportunity to be a delegate and move up through the ranks of the DEA. Tom, thank you. And Mike, I also want to just thank the First Precinct Community Affairs and Michael Corrado for getting this all organized. Thank you very much. The Family Assistance Unit, who we work very, very closely with on a regular basis. Commissioner White and Chief Pearson and his whole team of people who do the same thing that we do, and we do it so much better together as one to help our families. And that's, to me, is the number one goal in this job, is to help our line of duty families. You know, settling the contracts, 2 contracts, and also increasing our health benefits and things of that nature is what the union's supposed to do, and that's your job. You're supposed to do it. But there's no better reward than to help our line of duty families. And to see some of our families here, like Grace Machadi and Nicole. Nicole wasn't even born when I worked with her father, and he lost his life in the line of duty in the 70 precinct. So to have you people here today is an honor. Thank you. And Stephanie, you're that night in the hospital, when I saw you, I said to many people, when your dad was holding you in his arms, you know, you reminded me of my daughter. And you have the strength. For a young woman, you have an amazing strength. But so was every other line of duty widow in this room. They were as young as you, and they suffered as much as you. And they turned out to be major powerhouses in this city, in this state, in this country, in securing rights for our detectives and for line of duty families. So always lean on them, always lean on the DEA, and always call me for anything we could ever do for you. Because you're such a young mother, and we'll always be here for you. So God bless you. Like I said earlier, this job is not a one-man show. And I did it with the DEA Board of Officers. They're an amazing group of individuals, and I have full confidence that the board coming in is going to expand upon what we expanded upon in the last 4 years. Scott Monroe, Rick, Jeff, and Nick, and the entire Board of Officers are going to do an amazing job. I know they have a lot of ideas moving forward, and they're going to bring this union to a higher level than it already is. So I have full confidence in them, and I congratulate them on their victory, and I congratulate them on their future endeavors with the DEA. Thank you. My dear friends from the court offices, Pat O'Malley, Pat, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it, guys. You're always there to help us. And Dennis Quirk, anytime we have a case involving a police shooting, they're always in the forefront, getting our families in and out and taking care of what we need to take care of in the courtroom. To the staff at the DEA, I want to give them a round of applause, because health benefits and the staff upstairs, Sam and everyone, Sharon and the entire DEA staff. And they really go above and beyond for our families. Thank you. I'm almost there. All right, so now before I go any further, there's my family. My family, I tell you, they enjoy a lot. I'm not the easiest person in the world to live with, not for nothing. And I'm a very strict father. But my wife Amy, my daughter Emily, my son Paul, the fourth, my nephew Stephen, who's like my son, whose mother we lost to 9/11 related cancer, and who's now a fireman and a doctor. He's a doctor of physical therapy. I have my sister Donna and my sister Laura here as well, and Rosie and Elise and who am I missing? Rosie, Elise, and Mike. How can I forget Mike? Mike's grandfather worked with my father. How can I forget Mike? Your grandfather was a wonderful man. But thank you all for your support, and I would not have been able to do this without a strong backbone, and that backbone is my wife and my family. They let me do what I had to do and run out in the middle of the night. So it's going to take a bit of adjusting being home. So get used to it. To the legal teams that the DEA uses: Phil Karasak, Jim Michella, Maritza, and his entire team. Steve McQuaid. To the Pitta law firm: Vinny Pitta, Bob Bishop, Vito, Steve McQuaid, Mickey. They work a lot behind the scenes to keep this union moving and to keep the legislation moving forward. Our contract talks, our grievances, our improper practices. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. But I thank you, gentlemen, and you ladies, for your support along the way. I really could not have done it without you. So thank you, and thank you as well. So I just, my partners that are here, you heard from my partner Bobby Bush, that we were in borough anti-crime in Brooklyn South in the late 80s into the early 90s, when gun violence was running rampant through New York City, and there was cops getting shot regularly, and guns were on the street like never seen before. And it was always an honor to work with Bobby Bush and the borough anti-crime guys. They were the best in the world. We took a lot of guns off the street, and we saved a lot of lives because of it. But I don't want to see those times come back. And hopefully, some of our elected officials that are up in Albany will see that some of the laws that have been enacted need some adjusting. I'm not saying to get rid of them, some adjusting to protect the good law-abiding citizens of this city and state. And I understand the premise behind the bills that they passed, but they still need a little more adjusting. And I think with the efforts of the DEA and our friends up in Albany, we'll see that moving forward. So, I also want to recognize my dear friend George Dooley and my partners from housing, Vinny Augusta, Paulie Gianpiccolo, and Benny Castilli, that are here from 1983 that we worked together. So God bless you guys, and thank you for coming. And most importantly, I want to thank the detectives out there. The detectives that are out there every day solving these homicides, in the middle of working details because there's a shortage of cops. With all the obstacles that are in front of them, they still never cease to amaze me. Because when there's a high-profile shooting, a child is shot, a person is shot, a homicide, a terrorist attack, it's New York City detectives that run to those scenes and solve those crimes in record time. And to be able to represent the greatest detectives in the world is something I never thought I would see or have the honor and pleasure of doing. So it is you, the detectives out there, that deserve this day, that deserve the applause, that deserve the recognition. Because you guys and girls, you do it with honor, you do it with dignity, and you do it with professionalism. And like I tell every police commissioner in my tenure on this job, you could go anywhere in the world and you could hold up, no offense sir, you could hold up the police commissioner's shield and the detective shield. And every person all over the world wants to hold that New York City Detective Gold Shield. So I thank you for this great opportunity, and our detectives will continue to be the greatest detectives in the world. And again, I thank you for the honor to speak here today, and everyone standing out here in this heat. And it's been a true honor and true roller coaster ride over 42 years. But I wouldn't trade it in for the world. So I thank you for the time, Commissioner Daughtry, thank you, Father Romano, Monsignor Casada, everyone here, Ingrid, my dear friend, Commissioner, and all the dignitaries and all my friends, Commissioner, Chief Boyce, Chief of Detectives, Chief Kenny was here earlier. I love seeing you on that TV show, Chief, you're doing a great job. Not as good as McNeely, but close. I'm only kidding. But again, I thank you all for coming here today. I greatly appreciate it. You will always hold a special place in my heart. God bless you all, and please be safe out there. Thank you.
Congratulations, Paul, and thank you. You had an amazing career and impact on this department. But before we conclude, there's one last presentation we have to make. As you had said earlier, your family is your backbone, and everyone here knows we cannot do this without the love and support of our family. We'd like to invite you and your wife Amy up. The DEA would just like a very small token of appreciation for always supporting this man and making him a better person. So come on up. Thank you.
I did forget one thing. I really have to recognize the Board of Officers. They did an amazing job. But Jeff Ward, Paul Morrison, Scott Monroe, I want to give them a round of applause for putting this together. They really did a lot of work. So thank you very much.
Sorry, Jeff. Thank you again, Paul. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony portion of the walkout. I'm going to invite the DiGiacomo family inside. I ask everyone to make their way out to Thomas Street. Paul's going to walk out the front door and make his way to his R&B for his official walkout and ride off. Thank you.
I'll grab him out in the light, stalking him.
Yeah, that's true.
Just out here.
I know.
Giacomo! You know I'ma say that.
Congrats. Vice President?
Yes, enjoy.
Mr. President?
Congratulations.
Hey, what? Go out the way you came in. Thank you.